Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Join us on Caribbean Medical TV as we discuss a topic close to the heart of our Caribbean people and hear the experiences from the leading experts in the region about heart disease, the major contributing factors, what to look for, and why we are seeing heart attacks in younger men and women. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Following the COVID-19 vaccination, some people may experience side effects such as soreness at the injection site, chills, nausea, body aches, or a fever. But these symptoms go away after a few days. These side effects are a result of your immune system responding to the vaccine and are not a sign that you are sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccines will not give you COVID. When you receive your vaccine, the health worker will advise you what to take if you are experiencing any of these side effects. Remember, these mild side effects cannot compare to
All right, good morning to you, my people. We're running just a few minutes behind the schedule, but you know, we always make that up. All right, it's time for the segment Good Morning Grenada. Hope you had a restful night. Some of you might be tempted to stay a little longer in bed because the weather is kind of conducive to that. You know, some folks might say, okay, I'll take another 5, but this usually leads to another 20 or 30. So be careful, right? Do not let the weather prohibit you from getting to work on time. I want to say good morning to you, Veronica Sandy. She says good morning, Gordon, Innocent, Joseph, and good morning, GBN, Grenada, everyone, blessed day. Peter Bob says, bless up people, give thanks for a new day. Yvonne Courtney says, good morning, G. Well, I think that's me she's referring to. So good morning to all of you. Let's get into get to the program, man. Yeah, I want to say good morning to all the police officers. Constable Fleming out there in the Birch Grove police station. Good morning to you and your colleagues. Good morning to all the officers attached to the St. David's police station, the St. Paul's police station. As a matter of fact, good morning to the rank and file of the RGPF. So let's get into the program. Get with it. And it's time for the word for the day. And today we've got a noun, a naming word. And it is orthography. All right, orthography. And it is spelled ORTHOGRAPHY. And what it means, it refers to correct spelling or the art of writing words with the proper letters according to standard usage. Orthography. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. As the winner of several spelling bees, she impressed her teachers with her exceptional grasp of orthography. Yeah, that's a good word. Write it down, learn to spell it, learn to pronounce it, but like I always say, most importantly, learn to use it. Yeah. Morning, Mr. Clyde Belfon. How you doing, sir? I knew this day's what happened. Everything is good? I hope, all right? It's 21 minutes onto the 7 o'clock hour. 7 o'clock workers, you should be getting close to the job if you're not there as yet, all right? Good. Let's get to the thought of the day. And the thought of the day this morning says, stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. Yeah. Stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. In essence, be yourself. Don't try to be like anyone else. Yeah. Don't follow the path that was created before you. Instead, you go ahead and make your own path. You understand what I'm saying? Nice, yeah. Create your own path. Stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's see what's buzzing this morning. Grenada's most decorated Olympian, that's Kirani James. He takes to the track on Saturday. And the track and field nerds has a question. Will Isaac Makwala allow the Spiceman Kirani to beat him in front of his home crowd? Both men are down to compete in the 400 meters along with a talented field of Botswana at the Botswana Grand Prix on the 29th of April. All right, it's going to be a very competitive event, that I can tell you. There are folks who think that Kirani has already peaked and is now going down the slope. Well, let's wait and see. All right, we had some sad news coming from the camp of the New National Party as the New National Party offer their condolences to Brother Senator Norland Cox and his family on the passing of his beloved wife, Deanne Cox. Please know that you are not alone during this difficult time. We at the NNP are here to support you in any way possible, and we will be praying for comfort and peace to fill your heart. To the relatives, friends, and co-workers of Deanne, we also offer our sincerest condolences. As the Bible says in Psalm 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. We pray that you will feel God's presence and love surrounding you, and that you will find solace in the memories you shared with Deanne. May her soul rest in peace, and may you find strength in the midst of your grief. The New National Party. Also buzzing, Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell will travel to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, today ahead of a series of meetings that seek to explore potential opportunities for the development of Grenada's Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI. The Prime Minister will be accompanied by Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development Minister Honorable Joseph Andel and the Deputy Chairman of the CBI Committee, Mr. Dion Moses. The delegation is scheduled to return on Sunday, April 30th. The Honorable Lennox Andrews, the Minister for Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, ICT, Creative Economy, Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives, has been appointed acting Prime Minister in the absence of Prime Minister Mitchell. Okay. Good morning, Minister Andrews. How are you and the family? I hope all is well. Okay, also buzzing this morning. Justice has not been swift for the family of Kimon Bell. The father of the deceased vows to remain silent in any longer He vows not to remain silent any longer despite what he says are threats meted out to him. All right? We'll hear about this story further. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, Pops. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. Also buzzing, on Monday morning, truckers were moving rubble from the St. Andrew Roman Catholic Church, commonly known as the Old Church, on Cook Hill Road, St. Andrew. The dilapidated structure was finally knocked down on Sunday, almost 2 weeks after parts of the building collapsed. That's also buzzing. And this is interesting, a second consecutive year for increase in prize monies for Spice Mass winners. That was announced yesterday. All prize monies will be increased by 10%. I think I'll go after the crown this year, boy. Yeah. Okay, and finally buzzing this morning, with less than 2 weeks away from the graduation, over 50 young people from the Fly, Imani, and Empower programs conducted the final practical component of their 9-month-long training with NULO. Those are the stories buzzing this morning, and as it relates to the conversation this morning, I will be joined by my good friend Blossom Alexis, and she's representing the Grenada Child Protection Authority, and we'll be having a conversation this morning. So subsequent to that, we hope to get into our conversation as we always do, time permits. This is where we've got to take the break. We've got to head on to the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather on Classic. For those of you on GBN television, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Stick and stay with us. Don't you go anywhere.
When you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you ride, we'll be right there with you. Wherever you ride, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. GBN has confirmed reports that the wife of former government minister Norland Cox has passed away earlier today. GBN was informed that Mrs. Deanne Cox has experienced some medical challenges recently. The couple shares 4 children. GBN reached out to the New National Party for comment on this and the latest developments, and was told that a press release is being prepared and will be issued soon to the media. A senior member of the party conveyed on behalf of the NNP their deepest condolences to their political colleague and his family during this difficult time. The management and staff at the GBN extend our sincerest condolences to the family of Mr. Norland Cox and his family as well. Justice has not been swift for the family of Kimon Bell, and the father of the deceased vows not to remain silent any longer, despite what he says are threats meted out to him.
Deacon, I follow your campaign. Your campaign with my son on your behalf. You put up PTS, moment of silence for my son. Now you're in the seat. I'm calling on you. I want to know what you're doing towards that. Because I need justice. I need justice. I'm begging, please, the pastors, the priests, the bishop, all you, I'm asking all you, please, to deliver the justice. And I wouldn't stop from today until I did get justice for my son.
A desperate call to Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell and other leaders of this country from Carlson George, father of Kimon Bell. It's 1 year to date since the death of Kimon Bell after a run-in with the Grenada Coast Guard on April 24, 2022. Both father and grandfather of the young Bell approached the media on Monday in their quest for justice, expressing their disappointment with the status of the case surrounding Bell's death. George vowed not to remain silent until justice is realized.
Legal counsel, which is a team of lawyers from Trinidad. The police don't keep in the lawyers informed of what's going on. If the lawyers had to come to court, the lawyers had to call me. The police are returning no call and giving the lawyers no call. That's the kind of game they're playing. Mr. Deacon is the president of the regional force, but yet still telling me they cannot find the 3 people to come and give evidence. What is going on? Things are taking place in the courthouse like a kangaroo courthouse. Nothing's happening. Over 5 to 6 months now, it's only a put off and a put off and a put off. And up to this day, they say they got to find some people from the regional force to come and give evidence. And up to this day, nothing happened. On the 14th of this month, they're supposed to have a matter. And next minute, they tell me they put it off. The police call me a certain time and telling me.
George says even after seeking legal representation and the promised intervention of regional investigators, he has been given the runaround.
A whole year silent. And I wouldn't say this year they make it 1 year since they murdered my son. And from today, I wouldn't say silent anymore. Police claiming it's an accident, but I know I grew up in the seawater. I know it's not an accident. It's not an accident, because if it's an accident, pieces of board, they'll be picking up from the boat in the water. That 2 holes you see in between the boat, it's not an accident, it's a willfully done. When they hit the boat, then they pull back the throttle. If they claim they don't see nobody and they don't see no boat, pieces of board we're supposed to pick up in the water.
An emotional Kenneth Bernard, grandfather of the deceased who lived abroad, questioned the value of life in Grenada.
People is crying for justice. Black Lives Matter. Look what people kid in America. And they're speaking every day, Black Lives Matter. In Grenada, no life matter. Straight tears in my heart. I have a peacemaker in my chest, I'm very sick. And he grieving me. To know, as the grandfather, and the father of the child, to lose two of them in the space of 1 year. That is not good and is not fair to me, but I live it in the name of the Almighty God. Justice, I don't know if I will get it, but I live in with the hopes for that. Because you just take him away from me, you kill him. You execute him, you take him away from me, just so.
Kimon's mother died approximately 8 months after her son's death. Christina John, GBN News.
On Monday morning, trucks were moving rubble from the St. Andrew Roman Catholic Church, commonly known as the Old Church on Cook Hill Road, St. Andrews. The dilapidated structure was finally knocked down on Sunday, almost 2 weeks after parts of the building collapsed. More from Rena Pierre-Thomas.
The limestone, which once constructed the St. Andrew Roman Catholic Church, was moved to the Telescope Quarry for safekeeping on Monday until those in authority determine the next step. The building, which was constructed decades ago, finally came tumbling down by Foray Construction Company, which was contracted by the government to tear it down. Many residents deemed the dilapidated church unsafe, especially after parts of the building collapsed on Easter Monday, rendering the main road impassable. In speaking to the Minister of Mobilization, Andy Williams, on Sunday, he says their main concern is to ensure that there is limited damage to property.
Doing so, we have to be careful how we do it because we want the stuff to fall back into the property and not into the road. Because once you fall into the road, you have the lines, and so the electrical lines can be damaged and property can be damaged also. So the idea is to let the stuff fall back in the property so it can be controlled. And after that, we are going to move the stuff out to the Telescope Quarry, and we can store it there until we decide what we do with it going forward. So we are waiting on Grenada to come right now to observe everything, and when we decide to tackle this part here with the tall wall, what they're going to do, they are going to shut off the power just for safety, and then when we finish, they are going to put it on back.
Parliament representative for the area, Lennox Andrews, says that while the building is a historic landmark, it is necessary to tear it down as it poses a serious threat to students of the nearby schools and residents.
We do not want to keep the children at home. Keeping the children at home does not only interfere with the learning, but it adds greater pressure on parents, on guardians who now have to find ways of ensuring that the children are secure at home. In fact, some have indicated that to me, some have pointed that to me that they would like to have the space demolished as quickly as possible so that school can resume, and that's one of the reasons why we are here this morning. So we hope that once the demolition takes place as planned, then the children can return to school as early as maybe Tuesday, if not Monday morning.
Students of the Grenville School for Special Education and the Grenville Preschool are expected to return to the classroom this or next week. The schools did not reopen after the Easter holiday due to the fear of the building collapsing. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
A second consecutive year for increase in prize monies for Spice Mass winners was announced today. All prize monies will be increased by 10%. As we hear now from Christina John.
The 2023 Soca Monarch will finally receive the much-anticipated $100,000 cash prize. Finalists performing in this year's Groovy and Calypso competitions have more to look forward to as well. Last year, some artists opted out of competition, citing dissatisfaction with the competition's returns. SMC today announced a 10% increase for Soca, Groovy, and Calypso winners. Chief Executive Officer of the Spice Mass Corporation, Cecil Noel, announced the price increase during Monday's media launch.
Yes, we are fully aware of the happenings last year, and I'll be more than happy to tell you that I expect all of the major power artists to be present, because our prize money for the winner of the Power Soca has gone up to $100,000.
There will be added incentives, he said, for both the Monarch and the National Carnival Queen.
It has moved basically from 50 for the first place to 80,000, and that is in cash. So we hope that in itself will entice people. The other $20,000 is actually in value, in kind. So when we spoke earlier on of the winner of the Power Soca being able to represent Grenada overseas, these are some of the things we are doing additionally to encourage them, to help them as they continue to do what they like doing best.
The theme chosen for Spice Mass 2023 is the evolution, placing emphasis on traditional mass.
Theme the evolution was specifically chosen to represent what we want to accomplish for Spice Mass 2023 and beyond. It is transforming our cultural and creative expressions by fusing our uniquely rich traditions into modern expressions through creativity and fun while maintaining, as I said before, our unmistakably Grenadian identity.
Christina John, GBN News.
With less than 2 weeks until their graduation, over 50 young people from the Fly, Imani, and Empower programs conducted the final practical component of their 9-month-long training with NULO. More in this report.
The public is being called upon to give the youth a chance. Dale Neptune, marketing manager at NULO, says that young people deserve a second chance, as she is making a call to the public to encourage them despite their past actions. Neptune says that she has seen many young people make a positive change in their life during their stint at NULO, but found it difficult to continue the growth due to how individuals are treating them.
And even when some of them are coming, they will say, you know, miss, the neighbor say, or my friend say, big old man like you going in NULO or you're going to school. So that is another challenge. And sometimes they are ashamed to come. And that outside there today is pressure on youths, because even though they've been taught, it's not lived. So what is happening is that even if they want to do the right thing or they are doing the right thing, somebody might say, you know, but you play nice, boy, you know, these other things. I still want to say to the community, to the churches, to the schools out there, to teachers, to parents, to caregivers, we want to say, let us all come on board, let us work together, let us empathize more, let us encourage more to instill confidence, self-confidence, high self-esteem, to assist them in that way. Because let's face it, if we don't encourage them, we will not have a good future.
Miss Diana Hercules is the tutor of the mixology and bartending program at NULO. She said the 57 students who are registered under the program learned both the theory and the practical aspect of the training.
We do like health and safety. We cover 22 topics throughout the year, and like how to operate a bar, how to deal with different ethnics and cultural diversity. You know, a lot of, you know, we do a lot of cocktails, mocktails, how also working with customers and colleagues, because we believe if you cannot work with your peers, you cannot work with the customers.
Akel and Latoya are both participants of the program and spoke of their challenges and experience over the 9 months.
I know how to do all different things like drinks, how to mix properly, different glasses, know about Europe, but everything else rum for me. I know all different liquors.
When I had a very short concentration span, I could not concentrate for long. But now I get to pick my mind on something and do it and focus on that. I want to be a bartender, a successful bartender, and maybe one day even own my own business.
Out of the 57 registered students, 47 will graduate in May 2023. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell will travel to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates today, ahead of a series of meetings that seek to explore potential opportunities for the development of Grenada's Citizenship by Investment, or CBI, program. The Prime Minister will be accompanied by Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, Joseph Andal, and Deputy Chairman of the CBI Committee, Mr. Dion Moses. The delegation is scheduled to return on Sunday, April 30th, 2023. In the meanwhile, Minister for Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, ICT, creative economy, agriculture, and lands, fisheries, and cooperatives, Lennox Andrews has been appointed acting Prime Minister in the absence of Prime Minister Mitchell. Acts of violence, be it against women or amongst the nation's youth, continue to be a burning issue, not only in Grenada, but also all amongst the Caribbean region. Calypsonian Duke saw the writing on the wall. Nisha Peters reports.
The mighty Duke focused on Mandy, but there is no doubt he saw trouble down the road.
Father, tell me how many more must die? How many more? How many more must die? How many more? How many more must die for liberty? Well, how many more before you set South Africa free?
Organizations locally, regionally, and internationally have all called for an end to violence against women and children, also for the end of violence on a whole. United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, has cautioned against tolerating violence against children and women and called for a change in the society's attitude towards these kinds of cases and emphasized the need for improved family support services and effective systems to protect victims of violence. However, to date, this call seems to have fallen on deaf ears. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, in addressing the issue of violence at the regional symposium on violence as a public health issue, the crime challenge, said that we tolerate too many violence that are crimes.
I think we can all accept that to a large extent our societies, including our police, still tacitly treat domestic violence different to stranger on stranger violence. That the wife is told, you make up, it's okay, we may take him in, and then a month later you come and beg forgiveness. And so we tolerate the violence if it's in a domestic setting.
Women and children, especially girls, suffer violence every day. Unfortunately, this is viewed as acceptable, normal, permissible, and a family matter. These norms, the Minister for National Security believes, should be reversed.
We tolerate the violence if it's violence against children. And oftentimes we tolerate the violence if it's violence against marginalized or disadvantaged groups. And so to Prime Minister Holness's point, violence has become a normal, accepted way of socialization. And so to me, the use of social media has to be to encourage and reverse that cultural norm that it is okay to resolve conflicts. It is okay to pull social rank or status, particularly amongst young persons, by being violent. And I think, therefore, what we have to spend time on is content development developed by young persons.
Globally, 1 in 4 children face violence, while every 5 minutes a child dies because of its different forms. Early detection of cases, setting up hotlines to referral services and school activities are proven effective interventions that help fight violence. These are worrying statistics, and if nothing else, the words of the mighty Duke should call us all into action. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
The declining rates of immunization with vaccines that have long been used to prevent disease and reduce death rates remains a global concern. This issue is being brought to the fore again as Grenada recognizes Vaccination Week in the Americas. Beverly Telesford will tell us more.
Vaccination rates for measles, polio, and other diseases are decreasing among children, according to a study from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This is a cause for concern which has been echoed for years among governments in the region and abroad. That concern lies at the center of this year's Vaccination Week in the Americas. From Saturday, April 22nd to Saturday, April 29th, 2023, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, together with the countries and territories of the region of the Americas and its partners, celebrate the 21st Annual Vaccination Week in the Americas and the 12th World Immunization Week under the call to action, Get Up to Date, #Each Vaccine Counts. Minister for Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, in observance of Vaccination Week, called on all Grenadians to recognize the importance of this year's theme.
As we celebrate the achievement of vaccination over the last 20 years and the efforts of our immunization programs, the successes of the COVID-19 pandemic and influenza vaccines being brought to millions, in particular our region, we are still faced with a crisis. For this reason, the Government of Grenada, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs endorses the slogan for this year's celebration, Get Up to Date. Hashtag Each Vaccine Counts, which is a call to action to strengthen awareness among all sectors of the population of the safety of vaccines and the importance of receiving all doses of each vaccine included in the National Immunization Program.
The health minister joined in with the rest of the region and expressed concern with the decline in vaccination in Grenada over the years and by extension the rest of the Caribbean.
Across the Caribbean, as of 2021, some 11,000 children, that means 1 in 10 of the eligible population under the age of 1, did not receive their full vaccine doses. In Grenada, vaccine coverage for children ages 0 to 5 has declined to 65% of the total childhood population. The call to action is therefore urgent to increase vaccination coverage and to eliminate the risk of an impending crisis for those most at risk, our children, the elderly, and persons living with chronic non-communicable diseases.
A decline in vaccination leaves more children at risk of severe illness that could be averted if they were immunized. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
And just about $50,000 raised in the 12th edition of the Grenada Cooperative Bank Pump It Up Walk. That's the project adopted by the bank that seeks to reestablish the Carlton House and is edging ever closer to that realization.
The $500,000 target set in 2016 by the Grenada Cooperative Bank is just about $12,000 shy of the goal. The bank's 12th edition of the Pump It Up Fun Walk this past Sunday took walkers from the Monrouge playing field to the National Cricket Stadium. A check in the amount of $43,000 was presented to Permanent Secretary with responsibility for health and wellness, Kevin Andel, by Managing Director at the Grenada Cooperative Bank, Larry Lawrence.
This year we've been able to raise about $43,000. When we include Carriacou, we'll raise about $50,000 thereabout. And all of this goes towards contributing towards the $500,000, which is the target. We also note that the total so far from all the years that we've adopted the Carlton Home project and targeting $500,000, we've been able to raise approximately $488,000 thereabout as of the end of this cycle. So next year we expect to continue adopting the Carlton Home project as we target approximately $500,000.
They're hoping that come next year they will reach their target. Lawrence says their intent is to span beyond next year. It is likely, according to him, for a new target to be set.
We do believe that persons who have an addiction, they are members of our society. We want them to be contributing members of our society. So therefore, whatever is the affliction that they have, the Carlton Home certainly will provide benefit to our society if it helps them to overcome the addiction so that they can become contributing members of society.
The Pump It Up Family Fun Walk also comes with added health benefits, physically and tangibly. A prize-giving ceremony followed the event where the youngest and eldest registered walkers were rewarded.
Physical activity is beneficial to members of the community. It contributes health, and any healthy society is a wealthy society, and therefore any activity such as walking, when it's done in a family setting, it certainly contributes well towards the elevation of our society generally. So it is a good thing. And we, as Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, will certainly continue to have this as our sort of flagship event, certainly on the health side of our corporate social responsibility.
The work over the years has been a way of giving back to a health-related non-profit venture. Christina John, GBN News.
What was formerly the Department of Physical Planning in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure will, as of May 1st, be the Planning and Development Authority, as the unit transitions into a statutory body. More in this report.
The government's physical planning unit has transformed into a statutory body and as of May 1st, 2023, will operate as the Planning and Development Authority, or PDA. The PDA will be responsible for the country's physical and structural planning, and the previous executing agent, the Physical Planning Unit, will no longer serve as the executive agency under the Physical Planning and Development Act 23/2017. A 9-member board of directors headed by Chairman Kendrick Fullington will manage the activities of the statutory body, while the budgetary allocation for the authority will be managed by the Ministry of Finance. Deputy Chair of PDA, Kenny John, says that for the first 3 years in operation, PDA will be receiving a stipend from government.
The authority is currently running on subvention from the government and will be dependent on that for at least the next 3 years. As we take control of our finances, it means that all submissions to the authority would not be paid through IRD, but rather to the authority itself. It is a big undertaking, and obviously that's why the government would have to give us subventions, because some of the things that we need to put in place is expensive. The BIM model, sort of applications and all the other IT infrastructure is important. And therefore, as we start and as we revise our fee structures, which would include, as I said, licensing and so on, it does help and would make it in the near future feasible to stand on our own.
As part of its transition into a statutory body, the Planning and Development Authority will have a new organizational structure and enhanced institutional framework. This will include a general organizational restructuring of the authority, new building guidelines, and the establishment of a physical integrity and compliance department.
One of the units that we're planning on developing and making sure that we have robust inspectorate. When you send in your plan, what happens after that? We need to have that not only just for large projects, but for all projects. And therefore it's important that those where unlawful developments are taking place, that they're cited. So that is a department within what you call the Development and Control Department.
PDA presently has 11 employees. It is expected to expand its human resource as the statutory body will require additional manpower for an effective operation. The deputy chair spoke of other plans that are on the agenda of the authority.
We are looking for a home. Right now we are in the same place we are, which is the GCNA complex. It's getting a bit tight in there as the department's ranks are swollen. But it is important for us to be committed to the process. Definitely need to have a digital environment. As you can imagine, all the plans get drawn on computers, but yet you have to print that out. It's woefully wasteful. But it also keeps in mind that the systems and the management system of the building itself, the activity, that software helps manage it. Our officers will be able to go out and have a set scheduling of, okay, that building started 6 months ago, so they do 2, 3, 4 visits.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Watch closely through the GBN eyesore lens to see if one of these little walkers belongs to you.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
tonight's iSaw, we feature footage of the youngest participants in the 2023 Crop Bank Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. The little participants were presented with gifts after completing the journey from Montrouge and Grand Dance to the National Stadium. We commend the Little Walkers for a job well done. The 12th edition of the Pump It Up Walkathon was held on Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. Our iSaw line is open for your submissions via 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Get ready to experience the ultimate Spice Mass launch 2023 on Friday, April 28th. The Stadium Car Park will be transformed into an electrifying arena of raw talent and energy. Starting at 5:30 p.m., you'll be blown away by the incredible lineup of artists set to grace the stage, including Boise, Terra the Governor, Lil Natty and Thunder, Lava Man, Looney Spark and Electrify, Jab King, Lil Kerry, Lil Jello, Dash, Crave, Mozo, Scala, and many more. But that's not all. Prepare to be amazed by the traditional mass, Moko Jumbies, Jab Jab, Short Knee, and Veko. Plus, your reigning Panorama champs, Co-op and Comancheros, will also be there to add to the excitement. And the best part, it's completely free. The Stadium Car Park is the place to be on Friday, April 28th. Get ready for an epic night that you'll never forget. Spice Mass, the evolution.
Carriacou Maroon and String Band Music Festival, Friday, April 28th to Sunday the 30th. 3 days of intense and rich cultural diversity on display. Day 1, Friday, April 28th, Bialo Village, 6 a.m. Opening rituals, wetting of the ground and blowing the shell. 3 p.m. Sharing of the smoked food, Saraka style, into the Flambeau Parade and official opening ceremony. Day 2, Saturday from 11 a.m. Strings in the City, Downtown Hillsborough transforms with the sweetness of live string band music. Then at 7:30 p.m. we all journey to the Botanical Gardens for cultural explosion, and the night ends with a stirring performance from Sabrina Francis and Solid the Band. Sunday, April 30th, day 3, Sunday's party night. It's all about the bands from 4 p.m. at Paradise Beach. Come see performances from cultural groups and Carriacou's live bands. It's a long weekend, so we're gonna make it an all-nighter. Saturday tickets cost $40. Sunday tickets cost $20. Groups of 10 pays a special price, $50. Carriacou Maroon and String Band Music Festival. Let's celebrate our traditions and culture. They fortify us against adversities.
Girl, the children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated, and I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
At the NIS, our team proudly works to support the evolving needs of Grenadians. We have made some changes to our operations and want to keep you informed. Firstly, we are happy to introduce the new unemployment benefit. This benefit will provide an insured person with 50% of his or her former income in the case of sudden unemployment. To support this benefit and other benefits we offer, it was necessary to increase the contribution rate. The contribution rate will increase gradually each year until it reaches 16% in 2031. As always, the contribution will be split between you and your employer. The pensionable age will also increase from 60 to 65 years. This increase will also be gradually reaching age 65 in 2029. Pensioners will continue to be eligible for a pension from age 60, but will receive a reduced payment. The NIS recognizes that the prices of basic customer goods are increasing globally. Therefore, we are happy to also increase the weekly minimum pension payment by 25%. Finally, we have adjusted our survivor's benefit payment to a percentage of the age pension minimum. Widows, widowers, and dependent parents will receive 100% or $58 weekly, while children will receive 50% or $29 weekly of the deceased's pension. We are here to make the transition to these new changes as clear and simple as possible. If you have any questions on how these changes impact you and your family, please contact our new informational hotline at 440-6647 or visit www.nisgrenada.org. Thank you for allowing us to be your Social Security provider.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Records at the Traffic Department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second season of Caribbean Medical TV, the first and only medical TV series that showcases the Caribbean and the emerging issues on all health and wellness forums in our region. Like season 1, the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional doctors and medical experts forged the basis of the show. This season, we take the first groundbreaking original show even further.
All right, viewers and listeners, welcome to the conversation. 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and as hinted to you earlier, I'm joined this morning via our Zoom platform, my good friend Blossom Alexis. She is the Corporate Communications Officer at the Grenada Child Protection Authority. It's a wonderful time to say good morning to Blossom. Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning. How art thou? Good morning to all the viewers and listeners of all GBN platforms. It's always a pleasure.
All right, how are you doing?
I think I did it. I can't complain at all.
You're good.
It's morning in the south, so
yeah,
it's essentially it.
And you preparated yourself.
I preparated myself. You never forget I won it.
Not at all, not at all. Okay, so based on the core of what we're talking this morning, this month, the month of April, was recognized as Child Abuse and Awareness Month. What were some of the activities you all had carried for that month of activities?
Well, for Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, we have, a lot of activities throughout the year. So what we really wanted to do was at least get that conversation or continue the conversation when it relates to child protection. So this month we have scheduled a number of visits to some of our schools. We also have scheduled, which we have to confirm the date we want to plan a session in the city, part of the city, bring the message to members of the public instead of waiting for them to get to us. And that session, we're going to do it on a Friday afternoon in the city of St. George and spread and continue to share the message with members of the public. We are collaborating with the GNCRC on that initiative to ensure we have maximum reach and maximum material that we can share with members of the public. We have also scheduled some media engagements, one of which is, of course, this morning. Had to come to my favorite station, the GBN, and to share that message. And then another thing that we have planned, which is going to show national support. This Friday, God willing, we have dubbed it Wear Blue Friday, which is why I'm wearing the blue this morning to help raise awareness of that day. This day, we're asking members of the public to wear shades of blue, any blue that you may have, to show your support for child abuse awareness and prevention, because it continues to be a problem in Grenada. It continues to be a problem worldwide. Child abuse in all forms, they are a scourge in Grenada. They are a scourge in our society. So we want to raise our awareness, show support that we are against it and we are all in support of eradicating it. So this Friday, God willing, the 28th, we're asking members of the public to wear blue, any shade of blue. And once you have on your blue, you can take a selfie, take a group pic, post it on your social media and just hashtag wear blue. Hashtag wear blue on Friday, please, the Lord, to show your support to our children, our survivors of child abuse, our victims of child abuse. Let them know that there are people there who are concerned, people who care, and people who want to support them. Give them that encouragement so that they can come forward, they can speak out, because we have a number of children who are facing abuse and are still scared to speak out. So once we show them that support by wearing blue, we can definitely let them know that we are here.
Good. Let me just ask you this. I mean, child abuse is prevalent, but how serious a problem is it in Grenada? I mean, we know there are different versions of it. It comes in different spheres, but how serious a problem is it?
It is a serious problem. And we have major categories of abuse that we categorize the different episodes in. The most prevalent of them all is child sexual abuse. Child sexual abuse continues to be the most prevalent form of child abuse. In 2022, let me give you some statistics, as a matter of fact, for the last 5 years or so, as it relates to child abuse. In 2018, we recorded approximately 109 cases of child sexual abuse. In 2019, we recorded approximately 89 cases of child abuse. You know what? Let me make sure I'm giving you the right.
You better.
The right number. Okay, let's start over. In 2018, we recorded 203 cases of child sexual abuse. In 2019, it was 140 cases. 2020, the year when we were really buckling down with COVID-19 regulations and lockdown, we recorded 156 cases of child sexual abuse. 2021, there were 86 reported cases of child sexual abuse, and in 2022, there were 152 reported cases of child sexual abuse. And I stress here reported because there are still a number of cases that have not been brought to the attention of the Child Protection Authority for various reasons. It's usually said that the numbers that you have recorded, double that, because there are people who are not yet speaking out of fear, out of intimidation. So those are the numbers that we've recorded over the past 5 years.
From
second on the list of, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was saying second on the list of prevalence would be child physical abuse. We still have people who are in the name of discipline and some who are just malicious. We still have physical abuse being one of the prevalent issues. In 2018, we recorded 107. 2019, 110 cases of physical abuse. In 2020, it was 76 cases. In 2021, we recorded 41 cases. And in 2022, we recorded 108 cases of child physical abuse. A lot of times, parents would say, I was just disciplining my child or children. But there is a thin line between discipline and abuse. And a number of times, we as parents, we cross that line, whether it's out of rage or whether we think we're doing the child a good. But when you intentionally cause harm, when the child has bruises, sometimes the child has to be hospitalized, sometimes it's an ongoing problem in the home of child physical abuse, and that's where we have to keep educating our parents about what is acceptable and what, for lack of a better phrase, what can get you in trouble when you're disciplining your children. So as parents, we really need to take our time and take stock and pay attention to some of the things that we do when we discipline our children, because we could be crossing that line into abuse.
Okay. All right. Because that last aspect that you spoke of, physical abuse, it was a very controversial and still remains a very controversial issue as it relates to the difference between disciplining and abusing a child. Now, where the line is very thin, Blossom. Where do we draw the line? Because there are folks who argue continuously that I was flogged as a child and here I am today, but in recent times, some folks go further to say that the problems that we are faced with our youngsters in society are due fundamentally because the system has changed. Where teachers had the right to flog a child in the school, nowadays the children or the students have more rights than the teachers and so forth. So what's the protection authorities' take on this? Where do we draw the line?
We try to encourage to stay away from physical contact with your children. It's better to be safe than sorry. Because especially when we are in a rage, when we're trying to discipline, the child do something and that annoys you or that angers you, and your first thought may be to strike that child, and that can get out of control. Once you're in it, sometimes it's hard to get out. A little spanking, a little slap, if they, try to touch something, it's one thing. But once you start to bring out the belt and you start to bring out the slippers and what else do we beat with? Switch. When you send your child to get the switch.
The board pot spoon.
Pot spoon. I've gotten a pot spoon once or twice in my life.
Yeah, of course.
But the difference is back then to now, one, we were not as educated. Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, even 80s, we were not as educated when it comes to child abuse. But things have taken a different spin, where our children are educating themselves and are more aware of what mommy and daddy should and should not be doing to me, whether it's in discipline or whether they call it love. And that is one of the differences from then till now. Education has played a great part in that, as well as a number of our organizations and our lawmakers realize that there are other ways that you can discipline your children and show love to your children instead of hitting them, instead of what we term now as abusing them. There are other things that you can do in an age where your children are more into devices than they are into playing outside. Take away the device for a little while. There's a system where they can get time out, whether it's in school or at home. You can give them a time out. I mean, different children they would respond to different forms of discipline. Not everything would work for every child. So you need to find the system that would work for your child and your family. You need to realize what would help you with your disciplining of your children besides hitting them. So we really want to encourage, instead of taking the chance and hitting them and then saying, well, I didn't know, just stay away from it completely. Find another way to discipline your child or children.
Having said that, Blossom, one of our Facebook participants says, all these modern techniques are not working. Our children are completely lost. May God save us. That same person, Lack Key, says, in recent times, it's North America ruining the lives of black families around the world. It's a disgrace. What's your take on this?
I personally...
You can plead the fifth if you want to, right?
I won't always blame it on North America because, like it or not, we have our own systems and our own traditions in the Caribbean. And sometimes we may see things on television or on social media that we may think about trying, but when it really boils down to it, we try to engage in our own forms of disciplining. Because as parents, as Caribbean nationals, as a matter of fact, we realize that, as they say, foreign children different to our children. The things that children abroad may be able to get away with, or children in Grenada and in the Caribbean, we can do that. And I say we because I'm still my mother's child.
Of course,
we can do these things. The way that they speak to their parent, you can't speak to mommy and daddy. So in the Caribbean, is either you get an eye or something else, but you're
getting something.
Exactly. So I won't always blame it on North America. There are some parents who try to adopt some of the things that they see on social media or hear their friends in the US and other North American countries and other countries abroad may be doing, and they may think, okay, let me try that. But sooner or later, sometimes we come back to our Caribbean traditions of disciplining our children. But we just, like I said, we just need to find the system that works for our children and our family.
Just last week, Blossom, week, we were having a similar conversation here. And a gentleman said he remembers the days when schools and children from North America and other countries came to Grenada in boatloads to see how children were disciplined. All right, so it means that at that point in time, they acknowledged that our version of disciplining children was working. So where did it go wrong?
They probably couldn't afford the trip anymore. I don't know.
That's a very interesting comment by Bernadette Thomas Alexis. She says, "Good morning, Blossom. Very good and interesting topics. Because I'm living in Canada and seeing the abuse and hearing about the abuse of children, it's very sad. Where are the parents and what are they doing? Spend more time with your children. I know it have really good parents, but lots of parents need parenting guidance or parental guidance."
That's true. A lot of parents need parenting guidance. Okay. And don't get me wrong, there are parents who are trying their hardest and who are doing their best. Kudos to them. But sometimes we tend to forget that our children have friends and peers, and peer pressure is real. Social media influence is real. Seeing other things happening, that's definitely a problem as well. And then there's a saying from long ago, you make children, you don't make them mind.
All right.
And that's something that happens as well, because you could be doing the best you can at home. You can have a solid system for disciplining, or even at home, your child barely says squeak. But when they get to the schools and when they get to the community playgrounds and when they get onto social media, they see things that they may want to try. Or a friend who may not have that level or that serious level of parenting at home may influence them. Hey, mommy doesn't let me do that, man. Daddy doesn't let me watch nothing. So they may want to try it as well. Mm-hmm. And we sometimes forget to watch your children's friends. Pay attention to who your children's friends are. And that's something a lot of parents forget to do. And they believe that what they're doing at home is sufficient. It's not. Not in 2023 where social media and devices are at their fingertips. I have a 2-year-old that knows how to get onto YouTube faster than I can. So we have to pay attention to what our children are engaging in and indulging in. Social media, I see they're playing different violent kind of games, and they may think, okay, if I can do it in the game, I can do it home, or I can do it in school. And we sometimes forget to pay close attention.
Blossom, we have a caller on the line. Let's entertain a caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I have a different take on the discipline and punishment. I already talk about the discipline a child, beating the child to discipline the child. Discipline is by teaching the child what the right thing to do. You beat the child to punish the child for what he's doing wrong. And a lot of times what we do is that we tell him what not to do. Not to do this, not to do the other, not to do this. But we want them to do the right thing. The question is that where did they learn to do the things that they are doing? So we have to discipline by teaching the right thing to do, and you punish when they do something wrong. So I think we should not mix up the two. You might beat metal into shape, but not people into shape. So you have to teach people the right thing to do, and you could punish them when they do the wrong thing, but you have to put more emphasis on what is the right thing to do, and I think that might help. Thank you.
Caller, before you run off, are you still there? Caller? He ran off. I wanted to ask him his take on corporal punishment, because some folks have a Blossom, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you subscribe to corporal punishment? You have young children. You have a young child, as you just said. Is it one child or one child? Okay. Okay, you need to work on that, Blossom.
One is enough. He's a handful. One is enough.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to corporal punishment because I'm not sure it works anymore.
Okay.
I am not sure it works anymore. In a day and age of 2023, we need to find other ways of getting our message across.
Okay.
And I'm not sure corporal punishment may have the impact, or at least a wide impact. It may work on one or two people, but I don't think it has the wide impact that it used to have. Yeah, so I don't really subscribe to corporal punishment.
Okay. But Blossom, you are wrong. And you are wrong, we are wrong, and we got our fair share of it.
I know, right? And I'm grateful for the way that we grew up. But in these days, we just need to find other ways of doing it. I mean, the way mommy grew me up and used to punish me, I don't think I can do that now. It may or may not work.
It's a different breed of children we have coming around still.
That's true. That's true.
Different breed. Different age, different era.
Exactly.
Alison Cox Osplund says, "Good morning, Blossom. Nice to see you. Discipline of a child must begin from the infant stages. Parents cannot want to discipline a child when he or she is in their teens. Sometimes one parent go against the other. Most parents beat the child from anger." And that is critically important. That's a true statement. Some parents, and again, it's a whole generation gap, Blossom, because some folks would say, oh, teenagers having children is not anything new. It's something from the past. It's something that we met it there and we would leave it there. But we're seeing a situation where we have a lot of children are having to act the role as parents. Now you cannot give what you don't have. You understand? So that's one of the problems that we are faced with.
So that's true. Children having children, or even big siblings having to act as parents to their younger siblings, younger brothers and sisters. That has always been around too, but still, it comes from a place of circumstances. But that doesn't negate the fact that it doesn't augur well sometimes.
We have a call.
A child growing a child, they're only going to share the knowledge that they have.
It's total chaos. It's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly, because I'm raising you from a perspective of being a child, not from an adult who has, quote unquote, lived a life and know what's around and know what to do and know how to handle situations. what we have are children, growing children who have sometimes not even experienced some of the things that the younger, whether it's the child that they've made or the younger siblings,
Yeah.
they haven't experienced some of the things that they're doing. So they have no knowledge of how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the situation that they're in, whether it's family dynamics or circumstances, unfortunately.
We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning. How are you this morning?
I am alive and thankful. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. And my name is Blossom.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm doing fine.
Ms. Blossom, I want to ask two of you all a question. I need an answer, please.
Sure.
In the Bible and the man-made law, which one is more important?
Bible.
The Bible. Then, why not constructing with the instruction of the Bible and not the law of man? That is what we are supposed to do. Eh? This is what
Fair enough.
Let's
Go ahead, sir.
deal with the law of God, the instruction of the Bible, and not the disaster that man bringing on us. The whole system of the world today is a man-made disaster, and put the Bible aside. So let's put the Bible in front, put God first in everything that we do, and let's try to bring our children in the right way. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you very much, caller. I endorse your message about living by the way of the Bible, but days when the Bible were written, that was over 2,000 years ago. We have since progressed as a people, and there are things that were done then that may not work now.
Okay, that's your response.
Yes.
Okay. we have a comment here from Love Child Kim. Growing up in Grenada, the community was allowed to correct me as a child, but now parents curse you if you correct their children, and the children curse you too. That shows that times have changed. I mean, there's something that I look at continuously, and sometimes I just nod at it. Even at my old age now, Blossom, right? When I see past teachers of mine, right, I say Mr. Noel, Miss Charles, so forth. There are children that I taught both at the primary and secondary level, and when they meet me, you know, what you saying, boy? You understand what I'm saying? You know, there's one teacher in particular, Mr. Noel. He whenever I call him Mr. Noel, he usually say, Mr. Man, call me Chini, all of us getting old same time. But I can't. You understand? I can't. Even at my age, my aunts and uncles, we were almost same age. But it's Auntie Elsa and Uncle Glider and so forth. That's how I was brother. But nowadays, you know. So
they're calling you your name.
Yeah. You know, why you saying, boy, let me drink a beer. Can't tell me teachers that.
The people I grew up calling auntie and uncle who are friends of my mother's, I still call them auntie and uncle.
So it's all about the generation gap.
Exactly. It's all about the generation gap. But and that's something that I have always paid attention to, especially when it comes to the discipline at the community level.
Right.
Back in the days when you did something down the road, Miss Grace could beat you when you go home.
You ain't telling mommy?
Yes, you're telling mommy, and she beating you too.
No, after a while you had to learn not to tell mommy you get lashed down the road because it's a double dose you're getting.
But nowadays they're running home and tell mommy.
Yeah, because mommy going on pepper.
And it's bare confusion, and that helps fuel our children's their rage and their fire and their disrespect.
Blossom, we have a caller.
Yes,
we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I miss you so much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Mr. Innocent is trying to fill your shoe. He have a big job, but gradually he's
doing a great job. I have to give him props just so he did a good job.
Yeah, woman's power. I like to hear, and I hope you're coming up to May Day. Blossom, I think you're in a better place to solve our nation, child protection. But this is an age-old something that has been festering in our communities for years. So you have a mountain of job to do. Because, one thing I observe in our society, to groom your daughter or your daughters to be the best you want her to be, is like something is wrong if you have a teenager, 20, that is still a virgin. And it's like she been bashed. And we need to retrain ourselves, our young men. You don't know, we don't know of dating anymore. Once you go out there, it's like, well, you ask for it. What about talking? What about enjoying the common park, having a drink, socializing? It's like that's out the door, and we need to train our young men that, you don't have to be top of the group to have 6 ladies. You can date more than one person. It doesn't necessarily mean having sex. And we need to get beyond that. Some of us, have it in relatives that, you would want to cover it up because the public is not supposed to know that while your girls are suffering in silence. And we really, it's a cultural thing. Let us not pretend there are a few families that are trying, but you have a lot of families where it's happening. And we need to address it. We need to address it from the womb, not even the cradle. Because when you're pregnant and you speak to your young ones and you read to them, they grow with that kind of thing. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. God bless you, Blossom. I'm so happy to see you today.
You have yourself a blessed day as well. Thank you very much.
Right. Blossom, someone says here on our Facebook platform, the law has a very high influence on parents raising kids where discipline is involved. Your own kids can put you in a situation where the law will take their side until the truth be told. It's very difficult.
That's true to an extent, which is why I always say better to be safe than sorry and just avoid the physical disciplining. But from the Child Protection Authority's point of view, our first priority, our duty is to the children of the nation, anyone who's under the age of 18. So once we get a complaint or a report, we have to investigate, or as I say, investiquire.
Right.
Because sometimes, very few cases you would realize, or following the investigation, you'll find out, the allegations were untrue. But then you can't just take it as a blanket, okay, this child is lying, or this child is not being completely truthful. We have to do our own investigations. And sometimes, yes, you may be exonerated at the end of the investigation, but we can't just leave it to chance. And we have a priority to ensure that our children are safe. And if that means temporarily removing them from the environment that they say they are being abused in, then that's what we have to do. It's always our last resort to remove a child or children from the home that they know, from the family that they have grown up with. But sometimes that's what it takes to get to the bottom of the issue.
Okay.
There are children who complain or make a report on behalf of their friends or on behalf of their younger siblings. Whatever report we get, we have to investigate, which we do. We have to take it seriously until the investigation tells us otherwise.
Okay. All right, Blossom, we've almost exhausted, we've exhausted our time, but in your case, it's not a third-party thing. You're still part and parcel of us, so...
Yes, I am.
Of course.
It's all the family.
Yeah, good. Just a quick reminder as we wrap up, what are some of the activities you have left for the month?
Yes, we have, which I would confirm the date and share with you in a sense. We have a session in town, which is where we will be bringing our message to members of the public, sharing information. We'll have some giveaways. We'll make it a fun afternoon. We don't want it to just be you come and you hear messages and you hear information. You want to ensure everyone is a part of the message, a part of the initiative, to educate our members of the public about child abuse and the scourge that is child abuse in all forms. So look out for the date. We'll share it with you as soon as we confirm. Also, this Friday, God willing, the 28th, Wear Blue Day. Any shade of blue that you have home, if you want to come out in full blue, feel free to do that. Just take a selfie, take a group picture at your workplace or at home with your family, share it on social media, and just hashtag Wear Blue. Show your support for child abuse awareness and prevention. Let our children know that there are people who care, there are people who are listening, there are people who support them. just by simply wearing blue, our children will know that. So please join us as we continue to do our best to help eradicate child abuse in all its forms in Grenada and the rest of the world. But it starts here at home. So play your part, do what you need to. If you know there's a child being abused, if you know there's a situation, please contact the Child Protection Authority. You can contact our landline. It's 435-0293, or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp 533-6990. You can check us out at our walk-in center on Lower Luther Street or on Scott Street. We are in the soon to be relocated to Calavini St. George once the building is completely set up. Hopefully next month, God willing, we would let you know as well. So call us, contact us, need to report it. Don't just see it and stay quiet. Okay. See it, share it, report it.
Okay. Blossom, have a good day.
Thank you very much, Innocent. Thank you once again to my GBN family, and I don't use that word lightly. GBN will always be my family. The viewers, the listeners, thank you guys so very much. Yes. People still see me in the streets and call me GBN.
Well,
big up and bless up all yourself, Innocent. Bless up your whole self.
Yeah, and keep preparating, okay?
You do the same. Keep preparating.
Folks, have a good day, Blossom, and I know the task is hard. It's a big task to that shoes that you have to fill. You have to fill up. It's tough, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's a tough job, but somebody gotta do it.
Yeah,
and I'm grateful.
And it's fulfilling, right? Once it's done, it's fulfilling. Yeah, so
it's fulfilling.
Don't be a stranger. Visit me ever so often.
Definitely
Okay.
Not. Anytime you need me to come back, just give me a ring ding, and I'll make myself available.
Always. Have a good one.
Love
you. Miss you. All right, bye-bye. All right, folks, I've been speaking there with your own Blossom Alexis. She is the Corporate Communications Officer at the Grenada Child Protection Authority. It's 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock, and let's take our final commercial break and come back with the wrap.
So it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro. Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Happiness is when cooking isn't a chore. Bring happiness to your home. Get up to 30% off on selected items. Get it now, pay later. Whatever your happiness is, we can help. Court, bringing value home. Offer ends April 30th, 2023. Conditions apply.
Hello,
I am Pettifer Lewis, the Executive Director of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, representing the private sector. From where I sit, I can see how volatile both the local, regional, and international economies can be as a result of financial shocks, pandemics, natural disasters, among others. Having the NIS Unemployment Benefit Program is certainly a step in the right direction. This will help to alleviate the burden that arises from unemployment. Remember that people who are employed not just support themselves, but support family members as well. The NIS Unemployment Benefit Program will play a very important role in assisting our citizens to mitigate hardships while keeping the local economy stimulated during future challenges like these. This is a very good program, very good initiative, and I support it.
The children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated. And I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.